What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, we have some very interesting news as four-division world champion Mexican superstar boxer, who is currently the undisputed super middleweight world champion, widely considered the face of the sport of boxing, top three best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, in Saul Canelo Alvarez. Canelo Alvarez is now 57 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 big wins by way of knockout, 31 years of age, 5'8" with a 70-inch arm reach. With that said, Canelo Alvarez, he attempted to become a 2-time light heavyweight world champion when he took on undefeated Russian superstar WBA light heavyweight world champion Dmitry Bivol. Okay, Dmitry Bivol, he came in the fight, 19 wins, no losses, no draw, 11 wins by way of knockout, 31 years of age, 6 feet tall with a 72-inch arm reach. Canelo Alvarez, and I believe the boxing world, they overlooked and underestimated Dmitry Bivol and his skill set, including myself. Okay, but now I will say this, and I admit this, I stated this, and you could go check the receipts that I stated that when Canelo Alvarez was in talks to possibly fight undefeated 2-division world champion superstar boxer Jamal Charlo, or to face off against David Benavidez, undefeated 2-time WBC super middleweight world champion. Okay, there was talks that Canelo Alvarez could possibly face Demetrius Andrade. There was a lot of names that were being thrown out. And so I told you guys, Canelo Alvarez, he was also linked to a trilogy match with his biggest rival to date in Gennady Triple G Golovkin. Okay, and I told you guys that Canelo Alvarez choosing Dmitry Bivol over these fighters was not a step back. It was actually a lateral move on the part of Canelo Alvarez, because to go up to 175 and challenge Dmitry Bivol with his skill set is not an easy task. Now, I still peg Canelo Alvarez to be victorious, but at the same token, I told you guys it wasn't going to be the easy task. But I believe that a lot of the boxing world thought so. Many people thought he was the easy pick. He chose the path of least resistance. Okay, and I told you this, choosing between Dmitry Bivol and these guys is not a path of least resistance in whomever he chooses. Okay, but I still pick Canelo Alvarez to win this fight based off of my studies and watching Dmitry Bivol's past fights. I wasn't as impressed as I am with the game plan Dmitry Bivol followed through with in this fight against Canelo Alvarez. Interesting, Dmitry Bivol dominates Canelo Alvarez. Clearly outboxes Canelo Alvarez, takes him to school. Canelo Alvarez wins a max of 3 rounds in this fight. Okay, this is the second time in his career that Canelo Alvarez has came up short like this. Okay, he did so again back in September 2013 when he took on retired legendary Hall of Fame iconic superstar boxer Floyd Money Mayweather Jr. Okay, he lost every single round to Floyd Mayweather. So with that said, okay, I believe that Canelo Alvarez, he started to believe the hype that everybody was, seeing that, feeling he was invincible. He wasn't going to lose. Okay, I was one. I didn't think he was going to lose this fight with Bivol. I didn't think I thought he was going to fight the winner, Joe Smith Jr. Arthur Better be for undisputed, become undisputed at light heavyweight before the year is up, like he did in the super middleweight division. Okay, and being root to accomplishing something massive. There was talks that Canelo Alvarez could go up to cruiserweight and challenge WBC cruiserweight champion Mukubu, and big plans was on the horizon for Canelo Alvarez. And many of his fans and Canelo Alvarez, people started to believe Canelo Alvarez is invincible, okay? Canelo Alvarez is not going to lose. And I believe ultimately, more importantly, Canelo Alvarez, he started to believe in the hype and started not to think that it was possible for him to lose, okay? Now Canelo Alvarez, he's taking to social media and he's stating that he's heartbroken. And it's very difficult loss to deal with. Initially, after the fight, he said it comes along with the sport. He stated that, the better man won. But then he started to change his tune as he went on. And it started to turn into, I really wanted to fight. The judges didn't give me the fight like it was supposed to. I won the most rounds. Dmitry Bivol won was a total of 5 at max. I thought I clearly did enough. I thought I clearly won the fight. It wasn't that difficult of a fight. He's changing his tone, and it's starting to lead to delusion. Okay, he's starting to believe that he dominated this fight with Dmitry Bivol, and he's not acceptance of this loss. Okay, and so now he says that he can't deal. Right, it's difficult to deal with. His heartbreaking, and it's now getting to the point where it's equal or worse than when he lost to Floyd Mayweather. And now, again, I believe that's due to the fact that he started to believe his own hype. And in the manner he lost, losing so many rounds, getting dominated, not having any adjustments, not having any answer for Dmitry Bivol, Dmitry Bivol taking his punches, countering him, throwing 3, 4, 5 punch combinations, pivoting, standing right in front of him, wore him down. He was physically drained. He stated that he was mentally drained, and that was due to Dmitry Bivol's skill set, game plan, the ability to frustrate Canelo Alvarez, take his punches, okay, and kept a poker face, and he made adjustments to Canelo Alvarez's adjustment. He had no answer for Dmitry Bivol's jab. He had no answer for Dmitry Bivol's combinations. He had no answer for Dmitry Bivol's defense, his high guard, okay, his ability to defend himself, right? His foot movement. He had zero answers for anything Dmitry Bivol did in the ring. Dmitry Bivol beat Canelo Alvarez in every facet of the fight. He was the better man on the inside. He was the better man on the outside. He was the better man in mid-range. When he had his back against the ropes, he was countering Canelo Alvarez, catching and shooting his punches. When he had Canelo Alvarez on the ropes, he was taking his time. You could see the frustration of Canelo Alvarez. He actually picked Bivol up on his shoulders and walked around with him in the ring. There was a time when Canelo Alvarez was getting hit with a flurry of punches. He started to urge Bivol, when he took a step back, to come back in and let's do it again. Come on, keep letting your hands go, right? These are all things are frustrating, okay? He was frustrated, okay? And he had no answers for it. The worst thing that could happen with a fighter. See, it's one thing if you get clipped with a big punch and knocked out, okay? You could always say that happens to everybody. Anybody could get clipped and knocked out, okay? If you're in a back and forth seesaw type of battle fight and the referee says they saw enough, right? And the referee wave it off because you took one big punch too many, but you was dishing it out just as much as you was taking it. And you could fuss with the referee and tell the referee you stopped it too early, and the announcers and the fans going to start booing, and people going to say, why did the referee stop it? He wasn't hurt that bad, right? You can make an excuse for yourself in it, right? You can justify that loss. When you get beat from pillar to post, from the opening bell, and you have zero answer and zero adjustment for the said fighter, your opponent, okay, he's doing whatever he wants. He's winning every single round in every level of the game. And he gets to the 12th round and he wins a unanimous decision. You have to admit then to yourself. See, it's one thing for the fans to say they feel like you was robbed. There's one thing for the media to say, oh, they felt like you deserved the nod. There's one thing for everybody to say it should have been a draw. But when you yourself are alone and have to look in the mirror and you know to yourself, I had zero answers for that man. There was zero adjustments. He was just the better man at everything in the ring. See, there's another thing when you can say he was the better man tonight. But no, styles make fights. It's not just a tonight thing. Canelo Alvarez knows to himself in a rematch, it's going to be the same outcome. He knows physically he had no answer for Dmitry Bivol. He knows skill-wise he had no answer for Dmitry Bivol. He know athletically he had no answer for Dmitry Bivol. And he know in the power department he had no answer for Dmitry Bivol. He couldn't hurt him. Okay, Dmitry Bivol wouldn't let more than two clean punches go through a round, if that. Canelo Alvarez going into the 8th round didn't land double-digit punches. Dmitry Bivol had landed double-digit punches in every single round. He held Canelo Alvarez to single-digit punches while he landed double-digit punches every single round of the fight. The worst thing that could happen, he beat the spirit out of Canelo Alvarez. He beat the fight out of him. Canelo Alvarez was fatigued. He was frustrated. He didn't know what to do. He was confused. This is not how it's supposed to play out. When I hit you, you're supposed to react in a negative manner in favor of me, and you didn't do that. What's going on here? And he had no answer for it. And now Canelo Alvarez telling the world he's heartbroken and he's having a hard time dealing with the loss. Right. That's why you have legends like Roy Jones Jr. saying and urging him, leave Dmitry Bivol alone. Go ahead and fight Triple G in a trilogy match, okay, and beat Triple G, and then work your way, take it from there. Because now he's saying, you have the fans saying Dmitry Bivol was just too big. Well, when you look at Caleb Smith, who was much bigger than Bivol, or Sergey Kovalev, who was much bigger than Bivol compared to Canelo Alvarez, and he stopped both of those guys. He had no answer for Dmitry Bivol. And he knows, regardless of all the excuses the fans and the boxing media and everybody else that likes Canelo Alvarez and supports him is making, he knows to himself when he looks in the mirror, he simply had no answer. And Dmitry Bivol beat the fight out of Canelo Alvarez. So that's all I got. Let's see what happens moving forward. Make sure you hit the like button, drop a comment in the comment section, let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shout out to the entire LDBC. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Raw. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.